It's another episode of Poker Time. We got to straddle on the button to $20.
We're still all in shock from
Yes.
the call.
The call.
The call that Mike made against Caremio ruined Caremio's life.
That's premium for me.
Mike is really making all the right decisions so far in this session.
Except for folding Danny when Danny was bluffing once.
Okay, fair enough. It was a spot, though, where you wouldn't really expect him to do anything else. But he moved in. He 5-bet all in with ace-king suited against Dan Ross last episode. And, of course, he also made the very showy call with ace-jack high on turn and river against Caremio.
Call to end all calls.
Yeah. Pretty spectacular. And he's got the chips stacked to prove it.
Yep.
Fold. Fold. Fold.
The waitress is always like, Dan, the ocean calling.
60.
The Destroyer of Worlds is going to open with Jack 4 suited.
Takes it down, $35 in the piggy bank for Ken.
Yep.
That's a piggy bank play.
That's a classic piggy bank move.
Yeah. That's where you raise and steal the blind successfully.
With Jack 4 suited, or could it be any
hand? No, any hand.
Okay.
It's really any time you win money.
I see. The
a
piggy
piggy bank
bank, the
play.
piggy bank move.
Yeah.
When you get paid for doing your job, is that the piggy bank move?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest scams in the world.
Yeah. You can't even see it coming.
Yeah.
Tell the truth, did you go and shower?
All right. Danny straddling on the button.
The golden shower.
Did you pee on the fish wheel?
Call.
You are Kelly. Marinates it.
Marinate.
Is that a form of like ceviche?
Dan Ross is going to try to isolate K6's limping range here.
You can see how the limp really puts K6 in trouble here, where if he raised, Dan Ross is just going to fold that King 10.
Probably.
Most of the time.
Probably.
No way.
Now he's going to be out of position.
After hearing what he did to the poor high
And
school
it's gonna be harder.
Yeah, that was like last week, too.
There's a king. It's going to make life a little easier for Dan, who checks it back. I kind of like that.
And looks like he is going to induce the bluff.
The plan has worked perfectly. I doubt K6 is going to go for it again, but
too.
it's possible. Well, he picks up a 9, so he's probably just going to check and hope he's good.
No.
No, he's going to bet.
Is he going to block?
He's trying to get called by ace high here. Or a small pocket pair.
Pocket sevens.
Yeah. It's going to be disappointed to see this one, I think.
And has a pretty straightforward call here. And very happy to see, though, that he's ahead where he obviously could be behind a lot.
Yeah. Interesting thin value attempt from K6 there.
Yeah. Once you hit the 9, though, I mean, I guess if Dan has got a pocket pair between the 9 and the king, it would have gone check, right?
Yeah.
But if Dan, I guess it's only when Dan has a king that you really value yourself super badly.
Most of the time.
No, actually, I take it back. It's when Dan has the pack of pairs is when you value yourself. Because Dan's going to bet a king if it checks, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
You can
So I was just wrong.
legally, like with paintball guns and stuff.
Oh, we didn't do that. They were doing a lot of trying to maneuver the boat around to kind of block them out of the way.
Hayes who?
Wheel now straddling the button, it seems. Nope, that is a lie.
You lied to everybody.
Well, I was looking at the graphics, and the graphics lied to me, and they are now.
We've killed them for lying.
There are consequences in life. People learn this. Ken's gonna raise it up with the ace king. You see, the king of spades is now showing because they've fixed that.
Ooh,
Put a
that's
new deck
fancy.
in.
That's really fancy tech. And wheel has 6-3 suited. All right, let's go.
Kind of liking this further back shot.
I am too.
Looks really good.
I'm enjoying it. It's aesthetically pleasing.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
There's a nice flop for ace king.
It's almost too good because Wheel's got none of it.
Who was it that was like, oh, I'm going to start?
Wheel's really going to have to lose his mind to stick around here.
And then the law stepped in and was like, oh, well.
I've seen it happen before.
They're supposedly
Not this time.
Nope.
The salmon rounds, but really it's sea lions. There's like sea lions that bottom of them down, like eating all
Yeah,
the fish.
I heard about that.
Yeah, these were just seals, so they're not quite.
When I was duck hunting last year, we saw a sea lion and sturgeon like
Really?
oh yeah,
And they'll eat sturgeon, too.
oh yeah. They're they're running rampant and just destroying sea life.
I did hear something. I don't know if this is true or not, but like some of the sea lions were tagged at the where you're talking about Bonneville Dam and stuff, and they were sent like all the way down to Southern California, and then they found them back at like.
Is that right?
You know what it's called when Wheel approves of you dating his daughters?
Saying they get funneled into like
What?
The Wheel
a
seal
wide area.
of approval.
Oh.
Fold.
I was trying to figure out what the Wheel seal would be for a second, and then I figured out what it could be.
That's one thing it could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fold.
It could also just be a an animal that he, adopted sort of, through like Greenpeace or something
Yeah.
like that. The wheel seal.
That's typically what Greenpeace does. Is they adopt out seals to the general public. Meanwhile, nobody flops anything.
Environmentally friendly.
It's like, it's more of an honorary adoption.
No, right, like a
they're not
highway,
the-
like adopting
yeah,
a highway.
yeah,
It wash right, it's
like,
water soluble and it's
Christian children's fun
we
kind of
used to
stuff,
crab and
Okay.
But for seals.
rat patrol and
Gotcha.
the kids would have paintball guns while the crab pots were soaking. We'd run our boats around and get up and go. Just
See, that's what he's
plaster
talking about right now.
Yeah.
boats.
Kill my seals. I got me a wheel seal. It means something different
Yeah,
though.
play a pot together.
Benign.
Do you think when Wheel is really feeling comfortable, really at ease, he says he's wheelies? Like wheelies?
Yeah, I definitely think he says that.
Quite possibly.
He might, right?
It's possible.
He's had a lot of time to think about it. So
He
he might.
thinks about it all the time.
Strut on the button.
Just do that. I feel like I have the same number of chips.
Mike's planning on winning.
Danny
all
hasn't
of
played a hand since we started.
Dude.
But,
Win it all.
No, he just played a hand.
well, okay, but
It's just 65.
now he's playing a hand.
Fold.
Are you ahead?
So once again, you lied to the people.
I didn't lie. Lying is so... That implies that there's intention behind it. Cremio's like, well, I got the 4 deuce, and so I got to defend it.
The Digital Dan. It went all the way from being the Digital Dan to being the hand of Portland Meadows.
It's true.
I was
People play 4 deuce all the frickin' time. It's weird.
Terrible flop for King Queen.
Cremio just checks back the 4 deuce.
Strange.
Very strange. Danny with the queen of diamonds
Maybe
here.
a little afraid of Danny. Just thinking Danny's going to check raise him a lot or something. Now it's not going to get through for 25, that's for sure.
Yep. But a non-diamond, non-king queen, that card will get through with any kind of reasonable bet.
He's got the nut low.
Show it.
There she is.
I mean, that almost beat me.
Nut low. That's the nut low.
So I had to
Almost beat me.
I had to fold
Almost
the 2-4.
play the board.
You fold 2-4 there?
I thought there was any
They are
chance
not
you
playing
had
the
a
4 deuce
five
game.
or a
It's
whatever.
just-
I'm like, I would
It's
never
just
fold.
considered rude not to play the 4 deuce
it's
and play it
pre-flop. No,
aggressively
no, no.
in this
No, it's
card room.
pre-flop.
It is strange. It's
Yeah.
a strange thing.
Yeah,
Have a pair.
People do it all the time in the cash games when there is no incentive.
all
He
the
doesn't
time.
have a card
Yep.
higher than a jack.
Now they
or
do when
call.
there's incentive too. Sometimes we do play the 4 deuce game,
Yep.
but mostly we don't play the 4 deuce game, and almost everyone plays it
Maybe
aggressively. It's
ace high's a
it's an
call.
odd thing.
Correct.
Fold. Fold. Raise to 35. Fold. Fold. Dan folds. King folds.
Call.
Ken is going to defend. Oh, no, he folded. Okay, I was going to say, you don't have to defend everything. Good job, Ken.
Ken doesn't need your approval. Ken's not looking for your admiration.
But he can have it if he wants. How's that?
I just said he doesn't want it.
You said he doesn't need it.
No, I said he's not looking for it.
You said both of those
No,
things.
I never said need. I said he's not looking for your approval.
You said need.
Okay, maybe I did.
Rewind the tape.
I know. I'm acknowledging I might have
Button
said need.
straddle
On the
But
buttons.
want?
on the button.
Never said he wanted it.
20.
I just gave it. Anyway, Ken has ace-8 suited.
You said he can have it if he wants it. I'm telling you he
Raise
doesn't.
to 65. Fold.
Ken with the
How
open.
dare you try to speak for Ken?
Fold.
Who raised?
All I do is speak for Ken,
Easy call.
Are you his lawyer now?
Dan calls
Power
that
of
obvious
attorney.
bet.
buddy.
Cool. That's a nice thing to have.
It's great.
Wow.
All right, heads up.
Okay, here we go. There's an 8 right in the window.
One spade, not probably enough. Ken's going to just go ahead and check it. I wonder if Dan's going to take a shot. Yep.
Dan says I got that backdoor flush draw and the backdoor straight draw and the overcard.
BDFDBDSDOC. That's what the kids online
Right.
say.
Ooh.
Ooh, good
Showy
card.
turn card.
has to continue now.
Yeah.
Once you bet the flop, you really got to bet again here. And
Dan knows this is a bet.
not a great spot for ace 8.
Ken has traditionally been very sticky.
And he will be again.
That boy is like molasses.
Yes. 9 on the river.
Sweet, sassy molassy.
It's going to be really hard for Ken to call a third bullet if Dan can find
Dan
one.
Ross does block the nuts.
True.
That's often gives people some...
He checks.
He does give up because it's, sticky Ken.
Got flies all over him.
He's like taffy over there.
Yeah. Decent pot for Ken.
Yeah.
Check, call, check, call.
I think so.
Always feels good to check, call, middle pair on the turn. Biggish bet. You don't really know where you are. And you just win. It's a beautiful thing.
Sure.
Makes me feel like life is a musical, You want to go outside and sing and have like cartoon birds come up and land on your shoulder and sing along with you and tweet along with you and stuff.
That sounds great.
I'll show you I'll show you a picture.
Well, Korean Mike, who had been on a heater, hasn't really seen anything for a little while now.
I mean, it's been like 15 minutes. Just relax. Just
that's a little
relax.
That's a little while. I didn't say a little.
This is the type of mindset that makes
Mike,
players just spew
you
off.
gotta
They're like,
win.
hey, I sat down 15 minutes ago and I haven't had aces yet.
Yeah.
I got a 3-bet whatever I get next.
Or a homemade croissant.
Ken's going to flat the king 8 off on the button.
He's been playing king 8 from every position in every scenario.
This is really interesting.
Raise to 110.
And
Oh,
Wheel puts at the 3-bet.
He's squeezing out of the big blind with a really callable hand. He's also squeezing kind of small for the amount of players in the hand.
Sure is. And he may get it through Caremio, and he might get it through Ken, but he ain't getting it through Danny.
Well, he's got Danny Diamond dominated.
No, it's pretty good. And he's got position on him, and he's going to have the initiative, too, assuming Ken does fold, which he does.
Danny will never fold this hand. Impossible.
They better hope they don't hit diamonds. He's going to think he's driving to the mirage.
Hell yeah.
The only mirage is going to be what looks like a pot of gold. That's a diamond right in the window, but...
A 7 and a king.
Everyone has a little something. Wheel's just going to continue.
You could really check back on this flop with king 10.
Agreed.
There's not that many good outcomes from betting king 10 on this flop, except for getting called by an ace and
Danny
hitting.
is sticky as hell, and in fact...
Okay, here's one of the good outcomes.
But now Wheel hates his life. That's the problem.
Well, that's a better board now for Wheel a little bit.
Easy check back card here for Wheel, I would think.
Gotta check back. You could be up against a bigger king. You could be up against an ace.
Is he doing the fake thing? No, he's really betting it, and Danny cannot continue.
There's really no equity to deny. I mean, queen jack and jack 10 and queen 10, I guess, but...
I mean, you're trying to fold out a slightly better king? That's the only good thing that can happen, right?
It's going to show the world. I'm not really sure what the bet was about, really.
I mean, if king queen folds, I guess you feel good about your life.
King queen's not folding on that card.
Not Danny's
No.
king queen.
Suited moose. Moose in a suit. Button down moose. Moose
King
is
X of
folded.
clubs also was available for
Listen to
Danny to
that.
have,
Moose with
and
the
it would have
con.
made plenty of sense for him to have at that point. That hand is never going away.
It felt like Wheel was bluffing, but
Yeah.
there's really nothing to bluff except the slightly better kings, which are probably not folding when they're held by Danny.
Right.
Oh, excuse me. Yep. Yep.
Fold. Fold.
What do you think? Is Stacy going to come back up before the next
Danny, of
round?
course, straddling the button, as he is wont to do.
Frozen upstairs again.
Raise to 30.
I'll take the under.
Except he's not straddling the button.
You lied again.
It's all a big
That's
mirage.
That's 3 lies.
Beer, so good.
It's like the statue at
9%
in Harvard.
alcohol beer.
The 3 lies.
Call.
Where?
They talk about it in the social network.
Uh-huh.
They do a whole little scene about it.
It's great. We got a pair of 7s, pair of 5s, and jack 10.
Okay, great.
Nobody likes the board. Maybe
Well,
Danny a little bit.
Danny likes it a little bit. Ken with the overs, the 10 of spades. He's like a kid in a candy store.
The overs.
Yeah, overs to the 7s and the 5s.
Yeah, because he knows what his
And he's
opponents
now the
have.
10 of spades is looking real tasty. Is Danny going to let him see another card for free? No.
It makes sense to deny equity here.
Yep.
You have the best hand a decent amount of the time.
He could have really bet the flop too, but it's understandable that you don't really know where you are.
Mike is going to make the call with
wow.
Ken behind. That's a bit surprising. But Mike's, he's on another level right now.
Yeah, he's really feeling. He's making all the right moves. It's like Tom Cruise in that movie.
He's floating through the sky in that movie.
Check.
And
That's a W for Mike.
2 better than me.
The hand we were
Mike
in.
is like LeBron right now. Right after he chugs a bunch of really good Gatorade. He's ready,
Really good Gatorade.
ready to go. He's got all the electrolytes.
The extra Gatorade, the good stuff.
Yeah. Only the pro athletes actually get this
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
But someday I'll get trapped.
That's what I always worry about, you know, that like essentially we're going to be shut out of things in life. They like, you know, they
You're gonna have
create anti-aging technology, but like they can't give it to everyone, right?
No, there's too many people.
So then what? So now who gets it?
Me?
I mean, you and me, we're the
Well,
poker
yeah,
guys, but
yeah, of
I worry
course.
about everyone else we know.
They'll give it to us.
Like,
Have you ever seen the movie Greenland? It's like
Of
we
course.
got the call.
yeah.
We're on the list.
By the way, if you haven't seen the movie Greenland,
Surprisingly
it is
good.
really quite good, even though it does not seem like it would be good at
No,
all. It is quite good.
It seems like it's going to be like a bad B movie. Gerard
Yes.
Butler's just trying to rake in money and his career's dying, but it turns out it's actually a great movie.
It's a great B movie.
yeah.
It basically accomplishes almost everything you'd want that movie to accomplish.
Mhm.
It's, yeah. 953. That's a the old double gutter for Caremio.
Danny with top pair.
Open ender for Dan Ross.
Call.
All sorts of things happening here. Wheel's the only guy who has got nothing going on.
Button
Ow.
falls.
Did you just read him for a
Big blind
moment?
call.
I didn't
Before
see
you
him.
even
I'm
hacked
sorry.
it?
I'm sorry. I didn't
What's
see him.
up, dude?
I totally didn't even see
A
Wheel.
lot of fun turn cards.
It's not exactly one of them.
Well, hearts for Dan Ross.
I guess so. That helps a little.
That's really
Emboldens him, I assume, to bet again a lot here. You don't want to really check call with 6 high, right? And there it is.
It's a big bet. That's 500.
5 into 445. That's everyone fuck off bet, right? That's what that bet is.
Danny's got a real decision here. This is a tough
I
spot.
don't see how he can continue with it with Caremio behind him.
Yeah, that makes it a little extra tough. But
Yep.
Danny does not like to give up.
But this is a spot where he just has to. And Caremio also now just has to let it go.
You can't do anything about
Dan
it.
Ross prices everyone out. Really nice hand.
Hi, Ben. With the short arms.
Sitting there thinking, please don't raise, please don't raise, please don't raise.
Yep.
Who's the runner?
Because then he would probably have to
Here it
fold.
is, Mike.
Yep.
You put that. You
Depending on the
It
size.
wasn't,
Right
it
as he was
wasn't out of
folding?
turn.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
you didn't see him in the hand, but it
He
wasn't
had,
out of turn. It
he
was
had
like
picked up his cards to fold, and your
Yeah.
hundred
Yeah,
hit
yeah,
the table,
yeah.
and I
Like
was like,
a-
"Wow, that's either really good timing or he didn't see him."
like
so I
a
wanted to give you shit.
nanosecond.
What were we calling Dan Ross last episode? Wasn't
Like
the
in the Olympics
molecule,
when
was it?
they-
It was,
It was
something.
not the molecule.
It was something, right?
Oh, the culture.
The culture, yeah. But I feel like now, just watching him, maybe there's a new nickname already. Chatty Danny Ross.
So if
He's a
it's
chatty
on the
Danny.
zero,
Yeah.
You still get a 1-round.
If you're gonna change it, I want you to change it to the molecule. I like that better.
That's really great.
it's got to be a nano later, or else,
Yeah.
or else something in your body moved.
Yeah, okay, I'm with
You
you on
haven't
that.
seen that in the Olympics?
No.
They get called foul. It's
Danny's
like
found 2
the
cards that
gun
he is
shot,
willing to
They
play.
go, but they'll get called a foul.
But the card reader doesn't want to see him.
Possible to go that soon after.
Even if
the
it's an
gun's out.
exact tie? Well, the machine's not that accurate then.
Korean Mike does not defend his straddle,
Kind of interesting. His
It's
suited
like
queen is pretty good in position.
Humans can't
especially against
react
Danny's range.
Yep.
one
Danny
Danny
shows
shows
2 face cards.
So if you
Perhaps
luckily get
a
it
pair.
right on time, you get penalized.
Because you obviously jumped the gun. You weren't waiting to hear the gun.
It's a surprising fold by Korean Mike. But he has been making all the right moves,
He's
Can we
the
make it
king
good
right
fold?
now. King Mike.
like Tom Cruise in that movie. King Mike is good
Make a
too.
good fold. Come on,
But Tom
baby.
Cruise in that movie.
Too much fucking hopped up
Where
on
he's
Monster.
the king of the world. Titanic. He's Tom Cruise in that one.
Yeah, when I bet.
He was
That's
not
what he
cast in
says.
that movie.
Then
No.
your
Danny
folding
Nucci
stage
is in that
patting
movie.
yourself on
I
the
love to hear that.
Billy Zane, of course.
Everybody knows Billy Zane is in that movie.
Kate Winslet in a star-making turn.
Korean station.
Star-making turn.
Yeah.
Dan Ross limps the 10s.
Well. He's doing it with the straddle on it. Maybe he's thinking we might get some raises, and
A limp re-raise is like it's an interesting strategy from the straddle. 10s feel like a weird hand to do it with. It's like a not quite good enough hand, not quite bad enough
well, it
hand.
looks like he's just going to call.
Yeah, interesting. Changing it up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to lead.
350.
Raise to 3.
And Wheel instantly raises him.
Wow.
Wheel smells blood in the water.
Wheel has absolutely nothing going on this flop.
Not even one heart. A queen and another one of those Dan Ross 10s would make him the nuts, but
Don't lead into Wheel's pot, man. He'll come after you.
No?
No, but I will show you this.
I'm good. Thanks.
Wheel told him he'll show him, and that gets the fold right away.
Wow.
And here comes the heartbreak.
Ooh.
Got him.
King Jack.
Bryce, Dan, you want to?
I
I'm
didn't see
good,
it.
thank you.
It was coming.
Oh, I
It was coming. It was coming.
Oh yeah, can I have it for you?
Space dust.
Space dust.
We're back. That was pretty good from Wheel, honestly. He has a thing, which he should probably stop doing, but he puts his hood on only when he has pocket aces, and he's never lied about that so far on
Yeah.
Poker Time. So Dan asked him about that in that last hand. He asked, are you going to put the hood on? He said, no, but I will show you. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
And they got an instant fold.
Yeah.
And I can understand why. That feels... You think, like, how often is Wheel bluffing here and making that good speech play all at the same time?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a nice job by Wheel.
It's a lot. He did great.
William raised to 30.
He earned that pot.
Button calls.
Pots earned are way more fun than pots just won because you had the best hand, you know?
Depends on how big the pot is.
No, it doesn't. I'd rather win $2 on my back than $1 million on my front, you know?
Is that a sex thing?
It's, you know, everything's a sex thing.
If you look at it, man.
K6 with top.
Small blind
Is that
fold.
45?
Premio is going to call. He's going to. Okay. I was going to say.
You don't want to ask if I want to call? Like, Dan, you're not as nice.
I think Cremio announced the bet, and then
Courtesy
K6 immediately raised.
That's what it is, yes. Raised all in.
Surprised you missed
Premio
that
with the 5 high.
Me too.
You know, it takes discipline, but you let it go
Sure, the
sometimes.
terms
You
would
have
be
to.
hard.
The worst
You
short
have to
stack
basically
I ever
pull an Elsa
played
from
against
Frozen.
band teacher.
Oh,
And God,
You
and he
know.
just
Yeah.
kept- he had nothing.
Sing a little bit. Go ahead, sing some bars to that song.
I have not seen the movie.
I haven't seen the movie either,
$1,000.
but I know there's a song called Let It Go.
I'm sure I'll start seeing it a lot in my life because I have a 2-year-old daughter. She hasn't started watching
Yeah.
movies yet.
And I was sitting in your
I'm going to guess it's going to come up.
That's because you don't let her watch TV, right?
Not yet.
band.
Full band
Fold,
aid.
fold.
That's going to end well.
Fold.
What is that supposed to mean?
He's too good for us. He only plays
I don't know.
private games now.
Fold.
Bike riding
You know.
one?
A lot of
That's a
resentment,
good
a lot of
guy, though, 'cause
hatred.
That's
I
exactly
see.
what
Lot of
he was
anger.
there, and I
Right.
was right there.
Yeah.
Who, Jay's
I think
talking
Ken Ross
about
with another
when he
walk.
Rode his bike all the time to Encore? Is that who you're talking about?
No. That was no.
You know who I'm talking
Boy,
about.
Wheel is commanding the attention of everyone. Look at Caremio, the way he's watching Wheel talk.
He's got gravitas, man. You can't deny it.
Yeah. He holds court like
He's
George
not-
Clooney in a,
Dan.
at a bachelorette party.
Or that guy Socrates I read about.
Socrates.
Which son?
Sorry, Dan.
I think he's from Prague.
I didn't mean to. I felt really bad.
It's a deep cut.
Talks about it.
That's a really deep cut. Socrates itself, not a deep cut at all.
No.
You split it out later.
Where's
They just
Dale
give you
in
a
his
far
Where's
away.
I wager to say at least a third of the people listening has got that one right away.
Yep.
Maybe more. And
Just
Dan
so
Ross
confused
back in the
about
game.
It's good, Dan.
And Ken says,
Button calls.
I have a Broadway card. I'm calling.
I'm on the button. I'm Ken.
I find ways to win. That cap makes Dan Ross look like a little boy.
I felt so bad.
Okay.
I thought I was buying him a bottle.
Sure, he
of
loved
really
hearing
good
that.
tequila.
I mean, it's kind of true, though.
Ken flops top pair.
Patron,
Probably
because I
good,
thought
but
that
we do not know.
little
Dan Ross does
snob.
decide to bet.
He was offended.
which
Yeah.
did not have to do, but he can have things like Queen Jack and Jack 10 and anything
Phone
else.
wasn't good enough for Dan.
What's this thing like? Dos.
Dos Amigos. Casa. No, Casa Amigos. Casa Amigos.
Dostoevsky.
That means the House of Amigos.
It's not a great card for
Otherwise known
Ken.
as Friends.
It means the friendly
American.
home.
Dan's story is a little bit suspect if he bets again here, though, right? Ken can have.
Josh, I can't
Some
believe
good
you didn't
hands.
take my name
Dan could have an 8. He opened
Yeah.
the cutoff.
That's true.
for the babe, for the kid.
Well, it
I
makes
wrote
it
you a
feel
note.
better. I
And he
provide
could have hit
one
the king and be bet folding here, but we're never gonna
I
know.
said Harry.
I guess we could ask him.
Harry.
Not in
Maybe
the
we
running.
will know.
Lil Bama.
Just ask him, right?
No. I would rather
Yeah,
not
like a
know.
rapper
Well, we
named like
could.
Lil Bama.
The sweetest things in life are not worth knowing.
What?
You know, I just tried to sound
Just call it
profound
Lil
and
Bib.
Little
Bib.
bit.
said some
Just
nonsense.
Little touche.
That's basically what happened.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
Danny, are we done straddling?
You could have pulled it
I
off, but
mean,
you didn't.
It's only a couple of us. Some
You
of
could
us
say that about a lot of things.
One
Mm-hmm. And we
round.
do
Let's make
One
it
round?
10-20.
when we
Let's
talk
try
about
one
you.
round, and if people
Who's
like
we?
it, one round under the gun straddles.
Just everyone who knows
Everybody
you.
in?
That's good.
Friends,
Have a community
family.
of people
Yeah.
that are concerned about
Said no?
how I never pull it off.
Yeah.
No straddle
Everybody
though?
just gets together. Is like
Oh,
he
you
really
mean
he
half
didn't
the
pull it
step?
off again. He
One
once again
one
didn't
orbit,
pull it off.
one orbit.
We just go around and tell each other all the
Be
stories, and
Yeah.
we know there's not much we can do anymore. It's been too long.
He tried to open a cat cafe. That didn't work. Didn't pull it off.
They do a bomb pot
40.
one.
K6 with the limp, and Ken bumping up the deuces, and Wheel is staring him down like
Yes,
he's
thank you, Mike.
tomorrow's dinner.
Big one.
What?
Spot this round.
I don't know.
Tomorrow's?
I don't know.
I feel like there was an element of Vince Van Patten in that.
Those ones are done. Thank you.
I thought you were saying Vince Vaughn.
No, that would have been too kind.
Double gutter for Korean Mike, but it's not the
It's a
good kind of double
Terrible
gutter.
double gutter.
I mean, an offsuit 7 would be okay, I guess.
Check.
And K6 is going to start the betting.
Fold. Fold.
That'll do it.
Sometimes that's all it takes. You look at the pot and you think a lot, and everyone
Alright,
folds.
straddle.
He bet though.
Yeah,
Straddle the user.
that
That part was
More-
essential.
it's more effective if you bet
Yeah.
also. But sometimes they just fold. You know, they like see you're about to maybe bet, and they
Blind
fold.
raise.
It is nice when they do that when you're bluffing. It really sucks when they do that when you have it.
No, no.
Yep.
40.
Yeah.
Encouraging it.
Of course you.
Okay, blind raise.
What is the parlance for threes? Is it crabs? Or threes crabs?
Yeah.
Okay, we got crabs here for Dan Ross.
Dan Ross has crabs. That's what they say.
Oh, it's a funny joke because of how it's also it means something else.
Blunt folds.
You wait to
Call.
look at your
K6
card.
is going to defend.
All right, we're playing with Dan Ross.
You have a tell.
And there's not many good flops for threes. That is one of those that is not so good.
Dan Ross looks like he's trying to get to showdown as cheaply as possible. It makes sense. That's a good card for threes, but
And I'm going to tell you.
the action is...
I'm glad you know it.
I want to
And there's
tell
no
you something.
definition so far for K6 hand. And now there is.
Now we're just checking
Sad.
and praying.
You're hoping he misses his draw and hoping, well,
that
he didn't miss
that
any
kind of
draws.
brings all the draws in.
I mean,
so.
Jack 10.
It's interesting.
And we get led
Ooh.
into.
This is about as easy a fold as we can make, unless we want to turn our 3 of clubs that we're holding into a bluff.
It's a sick blocker, but I don't think we need to use it.
I agree. I think we just get out. K6 was only 265 back, too. He may just call everything. Is Dan Ross thinking about just calling? here?
Yeah, I think he's trying to convince himself that K6 has one of the draws that did not come in.
Jack 10?
It's nice.
That's it.
That's the only one.
I mean, I can't double you up, but you can double me up.
He told me it's really good.
I haven't told anyone.
It's just Jack 10. And he does call.
Looks like 2 face cards. Does he have a pair? He has King, Queen
King,
of clubs.
Queen
That's it,
of
right?
clubs.
Right.
He has one of the draws that did come in.
Straddle special.
I don't know about that call there by Dan Ross. That felt a little ambitious.
Felt optimistic.
Even
I
if the
agree.
river card was good for threes, it might
need
not
to
be a
switch.
good time to
Switch holes
call.
we're putting in?
Even if it was, I don't know,
A 9, all the draws
a
come in.
9 maybe, like the
Yeah.
third 9. That might even be a bad time to call.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't talk to the man behind the curtain. Do I need to become left-handed?
John, I'm
Yeah,
surprised you
I don't know why Dan threw the money in that time.
No idea.
He does look like he's having a good time, though.
That's that's all you can ask for.
Right.
All you have is this
Brian,
fleeting
what's the
moment.
score?
It's true.
Think about that, viewer.
Dan may have been hit by a car
Fold.
at some point in his life.
Really a nice thing to think about.
Just saying, you're talking about all you have is this fleeting moment, and he was hit by a car.
I mean, kind of more philosophically, man. You can't prove the other moments even exist.
Okay, so you can't prove whether he was or he wasn't.
Yeah, that's a separate issue. We got the Battle of the Suited Eights, which is a classic poker thing. Nobody likes that one. Got the backdoor for Korean Mike. Dan with just the backdoor bad straight draw.
A lot of misses on this board, though, and Korean Mike is going to try and see if he can muscle his way home here. And
40, fold.
Dan Ross has been chastened from the last hero call.
Yeah, so
I'm
he
gonna
didn't
call it
hero
8
with
high.
8 high.
I mean, I was surprised to hear it with 3-3 last time.
I was definitely surprised by that, but it was less outlandish than calling
Of
with
course.
8 high.
Well, if he called with 8 high, we would have figured it wasn't a hero, right?
Right, it
would
was
have been
like
to make
a
play.
setup. Yeah.
You what? I'll do it with you. All right.
We got straddle.
Oh, we got the straddle chain going.
Yep.
No,
Now that's a
no,
blind
straight
raise,
up.
technically, not a straddle from
Right.
Danny, just so you know. So that is a dead 40, not a live 40.
Deal. If they tie, you win.
In the most action-packed game we ever had a couple months back, we had a blind raise chain up to 320 once with Action Aaron and Kevin and Danny being
Yep.
the last 3. Hey, this is a good time to have aces.
And Danny with 2 5s, he is not going to fold free for
Took me to the golden
almost any
So
amount.
135.
Is this just going to be Mike's session? We'll find out right now.
I haven't seen
Right
Amy
now.
for a long time.
We'll know everything.
It could really
Whoa.
turn. It could really turn the other way for him if Danny flops a 5.
Cremio just put in a 3-bet.
Okay, this might be Mike's session,
Just to play poker.
unless Gremio finds a win here.
Poker Palooza thing going on?
We don't know what he has.
They run it up.
Dan Ross has Ace Queen. Ooh,
This is
Oh,
just
change the name of it?
pretty interesting.
whatever
it's
that
cut
was.
off button.
He's gonna.
All in.
He moves in. What a spot! What a spot! for Korean Mike.
2.2K. Oh my goodness, Mike is so happy right now.
This is incredible.
Danny
What a
doesn't get to
nice
see the flop.
casino down there,
This is incredible.
Mike is trying to find a way to get Gremio to overcall.
He's like, can I ever? I gotta make it look like. I gotta make it so queens and kings can find calls here, right?
Root beer.
Look at Cremio. Look at him.
It is tougher to beat 2 players with aces than 1, but Mike's willing
Whatever.
to take the risk.
Cream, orange cream.
Dan Ross is in horrible shape right now,
So bad. So bad.
and he knows if Mike puts the money in, he's way behind.
There we go. There's the money goes in. Let's see how fast Cremio does or doesn't fold. Cremio has not folded right away. Feels like jacks.
It does. Maybe even queens.
Let's see if he shows it.
I won the biggest spot I've ever won in my life playing poker there.
I feel like queens would take it a little more seriously.
I could see folding queens in that spot.
Oh yeah, no, I think you do fold queens in that spot.
We'll never know, but we do know that Dan Ross has 8%.
Oh, Dan Ross has just got to be devastated. It's the worst hand he can possibly
Not
see.
a flip.
You pray for Ace King there when the guy moves in behind you.
Or kings. If there's a
queen
queen
is
on the
pretty
flop.
good.
All right. We've got a chance.
I mean, he only picks up 2% equity.
but
to
it's
be
better
clear.
than he usually does.
Yes, it's true. The equity's moving the right direction.
All right, that's
Not
no
anymore.
help.
1 in 20 is his chances to win this pot.
Does not get there.
Wow.
And Mike is now having a monster session.
Yep.
He didn't
Wow.
earn it in Jonathan Levy terms there with a
No, that's
fancy
right.
call or anything.
Dan
but
Ross tried to earn that pot
yeah.
with that cold 4-bet, but
Look at all of those chips in front of Mike.
wow.
Stacks and stacks of black chips.
Sometimes you just don't have to do anything. You know, all Mike did was do a normal open
So I was playing the
because Danny made it 40. He made it 135.
The pot being inflated by Danny's open is what
Yes.
got that to happen. Had
That's
Danny
true.
not done that, I'm pretty sure it doesn't go down that way.
I think you're right. Now, Danny was probably going to open 2 5s anyway, but if it went raise, 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 I don't know what Cremio was doing.
If Danny had chosen to raise, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would expect he would have raised.
Yeah.
Mike puts in the 3-bet. I don't know if Cremio's putting the 4-bet.
You have 1,000,
I
I
doubt
have
we're seeing a 5-bet from Dan Ross.
Right.
And maybe not even a cold 4-bet. We
I'm
don't
saying
know.
from Dan Ross's perspective, if he knew Danny
Ah.
had chosen to raise, it would be a different spot.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
And he is down 4K. That
Yep.
hurts.
He was already the big loser. Korean Mike up $5,500. Life is good when you're the king.
Actually, Danny was down more than Dan Ross before that hand.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's 2.2. You're
Yeah.
right. Wow,
So I
it
went
just
home and curled up in the
cold
fetal
shove
position and
2.2 thousand.
decided,
I get it.
I get it too.
The dynamic is there that makes it reasonable. But you know, every time either player calls you, you're really hoping they have kings or ace king. Like that's the best case scenario.
Yep.
Maybe once in a million years they have jacks. I don't know.
Caremio thought about it a little bit, but it seemed like he probably had jacks. Maybe he calls Dan Ross.
Maybe.
Dan Ross wins though because
he
he
would've
flops the
won.
queen.
Yeah.
cash and got a royal flush.
It takes a seasoned player to be Dan Ross right now to be down
Yes.
two buy-ins and just reach
Keep
in
it
your
together.
reach in your pocket and buy another 2K.
And play well.
Yeah.
That's the piece. A lot of people can reach into their pocket, but to shake it off and
Yep.
actually make good decisions from here can be very challenging. Because you can sit there and you can say to yourself, I really didn't have to move in 2.2K
Yep.
right there. I could have folded
Yep.
to the 3-bet. I could have called the 3-bet. I could have made a small raise and folded to the 4-bet to the shove from Mike. I could have done a lot of things.
1,500. 1,500.
Because Cremio made it $400?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fairly
I mean, you can make it 1,000. Are you going to make it 1,000 and fold? I mean, I guess if you get shoved on, maybe you can.
You can flat? I don't know.
I don't know. All his options are bad, which is why he just
Yeah.
decided to jam
It's
it
just
with good blockers.
It's an overall crappy spot.
Yeah. Well, he would have beaten Ace King that time.
Meanwhile,
Yeah, he
nobody
was.
flops anything here.
I mean, Danny's got backdoors up the wazoo.
That's a bit of an overstatement, I would say.
He's got two backdoors.
Here they ran that collage.
5 is going to protect the equity, and I think it's going to work out.
Yep.
terrible.
I hate tournaments.
I think it is,
They held up.
But people kept
sir.
They kept talking to me into
Good.
it. They're like, God,
Gets wheel to fold 2 overs. It was a flip
That was a
over
cluster.
and
before
over.
the
And I'm
flop.
like,
Flippy dippy doo.
Fine, I'll fly down the structure. You
It's
know,
not a good structure.
I'm like, dude,
It's a horrible structure.
the structure
Jonathan,
doesn't
I'm at
matter.
320.
Oh, it was terrible.
If the dealers
Jay's
can only
straddle.
deal 10 hands an hour, then why does the
This is the
structure
second
even matter?
round of
'Cause
it.
they
It doesn't.
were that bad.
What tournament are
No,
you
we
talking
gotta
about?
straddle.
Tough break for the molecule.
Because they were so bad.
The very first one?
They were awful, unbelievably bad and slow. It was just
Welcome to Vegas.
excruciating. I'm like, all these people.
Korean Mike just has been involved with all the
went
big
down with
hands this
soup.
time around, it seems. All the big pots he's been involved in and won almost all of
Right.
them. Just that very first one he lost to Danny.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Must be a good feeling.
Yeah,
Sitting there with all those black chips.
it's a lot of black chips.
Fold.
I just like his brother, Chris.
He's going to put in the 3-bet, it looks like, with the ace-4 off.
Raise two.
And Dan Ross is just like, this sucks. I'm down 4K. And this freaking guy is 3-betting when I have this pretty good hand.
Yeah. Dan Ross already did make that really big-time hero call on Danny
With ace 10.
with ace-10 last time on the turn when he got raised, and he called with ace-10 high.
Yeah, I was.
And was
playing
right.
this
Just the day after I got back.
I had already cashed. And I was
He
still
once
in.
again has ace 10 high. Let's see how he plays it.
He has the ace of hearts in his hand that may help
Sure,
him
I
here.
wasn't playing very well.
I would,
Danny's going to fire away.
I would expect we're going to see a lot of calls
I should have been.
with the ace of hearts in his hand.
Yeah, but you had COVID.
And he, 425's pretty big
No,
bet.
I
We didn't get
COVID.
COVID till the flight home.
I didn't get COVID until
Oh, you
Got the
did
two
tell
back
last
doors in
day.
it.
You felt
Ooh,
like
just
shit.
worried
Yeah,
about
the
stack to
last
pot
day,
there, I
like,
think.
Yeah.
They were deeper, he can call that, and anytime a heart comes off, he can rep it.
The other
Just in
thing
the-
about
in the
those early
afternoon,
ones
I
is that
started
upper
feeling
room
really
was
bad.
so fucking hot.
And
At Bally's,
then
the
I had to
upper
figure out, I was like going to just
Oh,
fly home on my
The AC
regular
didn't
flight.
work
Was
for
I
a
going to try
week.
to quarantine
I didn't
in
go
Vegas
to
and
the last
pay
one.
for 5 days of hotel rooms?
So you flew home,
So I flew home.
like everyone does.
Yeah.
I'll just picture Vegas with no air
Put my,
conditioning.
put my mask on.
room with
right
thousands
there,
of
straddle
people.
this hand and next hand.
And no waitresses bringing water or anything around.
Just
At one point, I literally
Did you?
thought I was
You
going to
felt
pass
pretty
out
bad
from
though.
the
That
feel
was well.
and-
That
Yeah, it
was
was like
during.
it
That
was
was
like a bad
during.
cold.
It was that bad.
Oh, because that was
Literally
during
that
the
bad.
regular COVID, not the variant.
The Omicron.
Oh.
No, I-
Okay, 6 with
Well,
7
this
6.
was
Gonna
just
limp.
July.
Ken has king 8, the Ken hand.
But this time, it's no good.
That is bizarre. Ken has been calling raises with king 8.
On the button.
All
specifically.
positions, and
But
he,
especially on the button.
he folds when it's limped. That is
It's 10.
Yep.
odd.
It's
I don't know what's going on.
$7.
Maybe he has a read on K6, having two cards
Having
that are worse than a
7
king and an
6. I don't know, man. That's a strange one.
Don't comment on
Ken is a feel player.
Perhaps.
You don't understand what that's like.
K6 does have something going on here. Now he's got a 7. Not his favorite card.
That's how they hey, easy.
Danny's hand not being read. He's trying to help the interns out, but nothing can help the interns.
Right. I mean,
I don't know, I picked up a towel right there.
if an eel is already dead, it won't swim, Danny.
Did it make it better, Ryan?
Good. Perfectly said.
Okay.
Thank you. K6 looks like he looks like he's going to count out the call here.
It's they call it peeling. He's gonna peel.
Well, he's already got a pair.
No, he's peeling.
And there's a 4th spade, and Danny checks.
Any spade is good.
What about top pair?
Looks like maybe Danny
Looks like
wins.
the queen of spades.
Impossible. But
Yep.
good guess, buddy.
Oh, he had a queen in his hand at least. So it was the queen of clubs and some other card.
Yeah.
It was enough.